Hi, welcome to another episode of Keepers of the Gloom. I'm Kyle Tucker, 35 Chop. My guest today is
Taylor Jenks, 36 Plunger.
Plunger. All right, Plunger. We're going to do some quick hits. Start off with, where were you born?
I was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Lake Charles, Louisiana. I discovered that this weekend. And then I kind of noticed the draw all of a sudden. All right, what do you do for work?
So I'm project manager for 5-Star Mechanical. We do HVAC.
Okay. What's your home AO?
AO Depot.
AO Depot with a shout out. There you go. And your home region?
Wichita.
All right, that's right, buddy. Favorite go-to cafeteria drink is?
So, hands down, used to be straight black coffee. For the past 4 months, I am caffeine free.
Whoa!
Yeah,
There
there
you
you
go.
go. It's the straight up water now.
Straight up water. All right, good for you. Good for you. All right, you you're probably up there for me on like most dreaded cues. So, what's your favorite go-to exercise when you're cueing a workout?
I really like the murder bunnies, believe it or not.
The murder bunnies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. What's the one you hate the most?
Running in general.
Running. Okay. So let's talk about your journey. How did you hear about F3?
So I heard about it from my brother-in-law, who's Mosby from KC, by the way.
Shout out KC.
Yeah, and so he's tried to get me down here. He came and helped start F3 2 years ago here in Wichita. I think he came down 4 times in a row. I told him no for 3, and the 4th time he finally got me to come.
There you go.
So I told him I was going to throw up, so I can't come. And then I called my wife on the way home. She said, "How's it go?" I said, "It was terrible." I said, "The worst part is I got to join."
Yeah. Yeah. So that was your excuse then? You thought you were just going to throw up the whole time?
Yeah.
You put him off because of throwing up. All right, whatever. What did you think about as he was kind of describing it to you? What did you think about F3 before you actually showed up?
I probably thought that's something I'd love to be able to do, but there's no way I could ever do it.
Why?
For number one, it's at that time I hadn't worked out since high school, and back to the whole throwing up thing, I was pretty successful with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like any type of workout was like, so I just felt I was too out of shape to ever get there.
Yeah, a little bit of pride.
For sure.
Yeah. Heisenberg invited me, former D1 athlete, and I looked at him and I'm like, dude, I can't hang with you. You're crazy. But the beauty of F3 is modify up, modify down as you need. Do you remember what that first beat down was? What you guys did?
So my brother-in-law led it. There was murder bunnies involved.
So he got to name you.
He did.
Oh, nice.
There was murder bunnies involved. There was drag race involved. Obviously some Merkins. But yes, it was on the verge of throwing up for sure.
Yeah. So put that in context for me. Is this week like 2 years for you exactly, or is it maybe
a
few
little
weeks
over.
ago? A little over. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how would you, looking back on the past 2 years, describe your F3 journey so far?
I would say I'm extremely happy of where I am at physically now and mentally, but all contributed to the guys around me. Would not have ever been where I'm at right now. Would not have ever even thought about going to a grow ruck. We just did this last week. If it wasn't for the guys that surrounded me with it here in F3.
Yeah, definitely. So highlight. This is probably don't have too much recency bias here, but as a highlight, what's been your favorite F3 moment so far? You can go recency bias if you really want to.
Go recent?
If you want to, you can. I know it's hard.
I'll go more than one. Maybe let's convergents are huge. The first year convergent was amazing, right? Just having 1 year that was a huge monumental shift. 2 year was cool too. Most recent is definitely Grow Ruck. It's a huge sense of accomplishment, and just going down there with fellow F3 guys was just amazing.
Yeah. What was so amazing about this past weekend? We've been talking about it a lot privately, offline, and just daily getting encouraged by it. But to you, what was so special about that?
The most special thing about it was I loved how the Wichita Packs really showed up. And it's not because I feel like we were stronger, because I know we weren't stronger than most of the guys there. It's not because we trained harder, because I talked to some guys that trained way harder than we did. But it was because I watched the Wichita group guys go through that, and everyone was willing to pick up the 6 no matter how bad they were hurting. and that created a bond between not only us, but I know Houston guys. It also created a stronger bond. Just 10 hours in the car together, and then 10 hours back. You know, it's hard to not bond over that. So super proud of all the Wichita guys going down there for that. That was my highlight.
Definitely. And shout out to the Fort Bend guys, the Katy guys, the Houston
Absolutely.
guys, the Cadres, Bloodhound, Full House.
Yeah.
Anaconda.
Toto, Turnbuckle, you know.
Yeah, all you guys.
Penguins.
Yep. What other health benefits have you seen since joining F3?
So for F3, I've got really borderline heat strokes probably a handful of times, and so I was really successful with that. I've noticed through going through F3 and getting my body back to where it used to be, that's not been the case as much.
Oh, cool.
I can handle the heat a lot better than I used to. Obviously, have more energy to play as a kids.
Yep.
You know, there's not that sloth feeling when you get home.
Yeah. What has been your most memorable beatdown and why?
That's a good question. I have to think about that one. I'm going to go back to 1 year convergence.
1 year convergence.
And mostly I'm going to say, not so much because of the workout, but because when Pringle showed up with that epic speech, showed up in the fire truck, horns ablazing, lights flashing, and just out of nowhere comes out with this epic, what it's like to be a man speech.
Yeah.
And just everybody's jaw drops and was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Most memorable beatdown, for sure. Shout out to Pringles.
Yeah, shout out Pringles. That was a pretty epic moment. I've been waiting. This is like 12, 13 times we've interviewed guys. That's the first time someone's mentioned that. That was an epic moment. All right. Who's Q? You were a site Q over at... We started together at Sparta. You were a site Q to get Wild West going. You're helping the guys up at Depot now. So you've been all around. Who's Q is a guaranteed push?
There's a few.
There's a few.
Let's say a guaranteed push is definitely Boss Hogs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The guaranteed push, and then Flenderson.
Flenderson?
Yeah.
Okay. What keeps you coming back to F3?
The guys, the fellowship, you know. Being around all you guys.
Yep. What F3 son are you most proud of and why?
F3 what?
Son are you most proud of that you've invited? What's coming?
I think of who's still going.
I mean, Bow Wow can count. He technically hasn't a chance to come back, but
Right. Yeah, I will say that one. For
I
sure.
mean, what, 2 hour, 3 hour drive to get there?
Yeah.
Showed up. That was big.
Yep.
All right, when I say high impact man or him, what F3 man comes to mind and why?
I'm gonna for sure turn this around to you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you show up all the time. You're there. You keep the cause going. You're definitely, your dedication to F3 is awesome and it's very much appreciated.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
In a few sentences, why is F3 so special to you?
F3's, I mean, it's F3 has been pretty much life changing for me. Not just for my fitness and mindset, but also for how I am around the family and kids. A new mindset and mentality of, you can do more than you think you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And the brotherhood for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All great answers. Great dude. Appreciate you. Come and see what it's all about, or visit f3wichita.com. Find your location. We'll see you then.